Hey everyone, so I'm back for another day of renovations. Super excited for today. I'm super excited. I only have one thing that I want to get done, and that's to hang the ceilings in the bathroom and in that bedroom in the front. And this is just super exciting for me. I have done a ton of prep work. I think I'm ready. This is like the first step towards actually putting this place back together. So I'm super excited. Before we get to that though, just a real quick update on my plan for this place and how I'm gonna approach working here. For the most part, I've actually been working 1 day a week and filming when I do work, and the progress has been a little slow, right? Hopefully you've seen the progress, you understand. What I'm gonna do is actually shift to working multiple days per week and probably weeknights. I'm only gonna record 1 day because that allows me to keep it I think it's interesting, hopefully you do too, but allows me to keep it a little bit more interesting. And I'm just gonna catch you up on the things that I had done that, maybe I didn't show on film. Just quick hits before we start the video for the day. So that's the plan for today, and that's gonna be the plan going forward. I hope that makes sense. So ultimately, I just need to balance my priorities a little bit, right? I love doing these videos, but at the same time, I also gotta make sure this place is ready to rent in June. So with that, we're gonna do a quick update on what we've done since the last video. So to start with, I got this rough-in valve all connected up. There's no water running there yet, but these lines are running down into the basement to a manifold that's down there. I also ran this PEX line for the toilet, and these 2 lines here, hot and cold, for the vanity. All right, so we're headed down into the basement because I know my buddy Greg loves it so much down here. So what I ended up doing is putting in a manifold with dedicated shutoffs so that I can shut the water off in the basement if I ever need to work on something. And then I ran dedicated cold water lines to each of the fixtures: shower, toilet, vanity. And I had one extra one in here that I plumbed out. I might run that up front, but probably not. I'll probably just leave that like that. I haven't actually connected this into the main water line yet, but that's right here, so it should be a pretty easy connection once I get around to it. It's with a hot water line, though, that I made some compromises. So the hot water line currently runs here and then up in this chamber right here. So that's it running over this way. So I put my hot water line here, and the other one is right here. So rather than putting those on their own manifold, I opted to instead have them be part of a single loop. It's a little bit messier, honestly. I don't like it, but because of the way hot water works, right, you have to fill the lines with hot water before it comes out of the faucets. It makes more sense, especially if it's in a bathroom. It makes more sense to have them along the same run because it means it's more likely to continue to be cycling. You waste less water, and hopefully you waste less hot water as well. All right, so obviously still a lot to do downstairs. We got to connect those water lines. We got to replace the drain lines, just a bunch of stuff. Topic of a future video. For now, we're going to turn our attention to the bathroom, where that's all hopefully all prepped and ready for us to start hanging that ceiling. All right, so in the bathroom, we got the strapping up, so we got a nice solid surface to hang the drywall on. We got some faced insulation over here because that goes out to a cold space there, as well as some strapping to allow us to hang the drywall. We got unfaced insulation here in the ceilings. The only reason that insulation is there is to keep the heat down in this room. It is technically on that side, it's unheated. Over on the stairway, it's unheated. Heated above, but there's only a tiny little baseboard in here, so we wanted to do what we could to keep the heat in. I also installed blocking along the length here to make sure we had a nice surface to nail into when we needed to for trim or whatever else. All right, so that wraps up the recap since the last video. A lot of work was done. Well, it feels like I did a lot of work because it took me a long time, but recapping it like I just did, it actually doesn't seem like a whole lot of work at all. But anyway, we're all set. We're all set to get started for the day. So as always, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I love the comments. The questions, the criticisms, the kudos, it's all good. Definitely appreciated. So please leave me a comment either way. I'll take any of the 3. With that, let's get started. All right, I've got a couple options as far as how I'm going to lay this out. I think based on how I've got the strapping going, I'm going to have a piece that goes the length here, and then a piece that goes the length here. So it's running in the opposite direction the strapping is. That means I'm going to have a joint right about here-ish, which I haven't accounted for, but I'll put up some additional strapping here. It'll take me just a few minutes. All right, so to start us out today, we got a bit of a tricky cut. The room is not square. It's about 36 1/4 on one end, and it's 36 1/4 inches up to about 56 inches. Gradually increases to about 37 1/4 at 56 inches. Just gonna grab my tape, square it up, and I know that here should be 37 inches, and then we'll keep it 37 inches all the way out here. So I'm just gonna take my straight edge and line it up, and then draw a line. All right, so now I'm just gonna gently score along the length here. A nice new blade, it's nice. That's real good. I used to be super precious about this, and I realized it didn't matter. You put a ton of work into cutting it straight so you can cover it with drywall mud afterwards. It just don't matter. All right, so I just did a quick dry fit. I think it's gonna work. Unfortunately, I banged up a piece here, but fortunately that's where I have a butt joint anyway, so it's gonna get patched. I went and laid out the cutout for the fan. I am very hopeful that this is gonna work, but I don't know, which stinks because if I mess this up, I have kind of a piece of drywall. Practice drywall isn't really a thing. These sheets are expensive, especially the mold resistant stuff. I think I've got it though. I went in, double checked everything, measured it twice. It's a little hard because I'm actually doing the inverse of what you see here. So this piece, it's going to go up like that when I do hang it. So I'm just going to cut this out, get it up there, and hope for the best once again. I don't do this a lot. All right, I hope you enjoy this. I also hope that I only have to do this once. No. I just realized I put my helper on the wrong side of the room. All right, so I switched the board I had up over to this side so I can use it as a lip to put the drywall on while I'm screwing in this side, and I can work my way over with that end being supported. I'll show you afterwards. All right, so I would estimate I've driven about 30 screws, and my arm, I'm already feeling it. Luckily, I've got one of these. So I borrowed this from my uncle. He bought it when he was renovating his house. So I'm gonna give this a shot. Hopefully it makes things a little bit easier because I'm probably gonna have to not do this all. Actually, I've done most of it in here already. I just got a few more screws to drill, but I'm going to try this out. I've got that whole room to do in there, and if this works, it'd be great. The only problem is that I wasn't able to find screws for this. So maybe I have to special order them. I don't know, but I'm going to give it a shot. All right, so that's one piece of drywall done. I've only got like 15 more to go. All the excitement I was feeling earlier in the video, that's all gone. This is going to be miserable, but that's okay. We'll get it done. It's all it's all good. No, it's going to be fine. In the other room, there's much less kind of detail type stuff that I have to deal with, so it should be a lot easier. For now, though, I got my first sheet up. Here, unfortunately, I've got a pretty big gap. Not sure how that happened. Well, I know how it happened. I screwed it up. The good news is that the covering will cover that, no problem. And I did actually want to be able to get those screws out and on the other side, which I can't actually access, but the screws on the other side as well, just in case this fan ever fails. I may actually try and center that. Famous last words. Probably try and center it and end up taking the ceiling down again. But for now, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to save that centering for another night. We're just going to focus on getting this piece up for now. All right, so this one's got to be 42 3/4 by 23. And I'm using green board in here for a little bit more moisture resistance, or mold resistance rather. I don't know whether it's going to make a difference, but I'm going to do it anyway. All right, it's looking pretty good in here, by my standards at least. I've still got a little bit more work to do. I've got a few screws that I need to pull because they missed the backer. I've got this here that broke because I think I stepped on it. Just your typical stuff that professionals do, right? They miss the strapping and they step on the drywall and break it. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and this was a good warm-up for the bedroom, which we're going to tackle next. All right, so I'm over in the bedroom now. There's quite a bit of drywall to be hung in here. Luckily, I've got this lift that I was able to borrow from my brother-in-law. Honestly, I think if I didn't have one to borrow, I would probably rent one. I had checked; they're like $80 a day. And while I haven't used this one yet, I do consider that well worth it, especially after the experience I just had in there. Like I'm already sore. It's actually kind of sad, but like I said, I'm very grateful to have the lift. So I've done a few measurements, so I know where 4 feet is. I know where 8 feet is. I'm just gonna load a piece of drywall up on the lift, get it up in place. So I've never done this before. I'm just gonna get the piece of drywall up on the lift, try it out, see how it goes. All right, so I had a little surprise visitor here. Right, Jake? Yeah. Right? You gonna help me hang the first piece of drywall? All right, so I'm gonna put this over here. Oh no, a little tight in here. Right, buddy? Ow. All right. So now, I think you're gonna come over here, bud. I got it upside down. Oh, hang on. Hey, you know what? This is my first time. I love how there's 3 people standing there watching me right now. Watching me struggle. No, I'm good. No, this is the easiest thing I've ever done. No, just stand there and laugh. That's perfect. My favorite part is the giggling I can hear from the other room. Yeah, that's funny. Fun to watch me struggle. Oh, family. All right, so now what we're gonna do, Jake. So help me turn this. Get it? Hoop. You turning? Ow. Oh, oh. Unfortunately, I lost my helper pretty quickly. He ended up getting his fingers caught in the wheel, which is probably why I shouldn't have had him here doing it in the first place. But buddy, I appreciate you trying it with me. I just want you to know that, and I'm sorry. All right, so that was a bit of a hot mess, but the good news is I'm gonna get better. Well, I have to get better. Like, there's no way I can get worse is the way I'm looking at it right now. So I'm gonna continue on. My plan is to do this section next. I'm gonna stagger the joints. So I'm gonna have a short piece here, full size, full length 8-foot piece here, and then an 8-foot piece here, and then a shorter piece here. I'd much rather just kind of work my way in one direction all at once. But from what I understand, you're not supposed to have 4 corners intersect in one place. That's a weak joint. So I'm going to stagger them and hopefully, again, hopefully I get better. All right, so that one went a lot better than the first one, and I think, honestly, it was a screw gun. I also realized I could really crank that piece of drywall into the ceiling, so there's no wobble. It's almost tight against the ceiling, so I could really get a good fit. So that was definitely an improvement. All right, so I've got 4 pieces up. I've learned how to use the lift. I've learned how to use the gun. this is where it starts to get tricky. So all of my learning so far in the couple hours I've been at this have been leading up to this moment. So this is my really awkward, probably kind of hard to do space. So what I think I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna put 2 strips from here to here, basically the same thing that I've been doing, staggering these. And then I'm gonna work on this piece in here. And the reason I think this is the right thing to do is because the distance from here to here is greater than 4 feet. So no matter what, I'm looking at 2 sheets of drywall and having a butt joint in there. So either way, I think this is gonna be a little bit challenging, but I'm all warmed up, right? I'm up for the challenge. Big words. Big words. We'll see how it goes. I've been sneakily adding extra strapping where I needed it. Figured I'd probably show you so you don't think I'm perfect. So unfortunately, I messed this one up. So I'm gonna have a butt joint. Oh, and it's upside down. Oh, sweet. No, I didn't mess it up. I just had it upside down. Yay! I was wondering how I did that. I mean, I probably still messed it up, but this time it's at least messed up in my favor. I wish I didn't have so much garbage in here. Oh, well. I got a much bigger gap on that one than I was hoping for. I am not sure what happened. I must have messed up the measurement. Good news is there's like a molding going over this because I've got the beadboard underneath, so I don't actually have to tape, or that gap's not gonna matter, but still, man, that stinks, huh? All right, big risky cut time. So I gotta get that angle right there. It is gonna be a little bit forgiving because it's drywall and I can always patch it, I guess. But I messed this up when I was doing the flooring upstairs. And again, I covered it up and it looks fine, but I really wanna get this right. I think that's what it's gonna be, but I'm gonna go up there and see if I can kinda like somehow check it. I have no idea how I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna try. Look at it. It's laughing. It's laughing at me. All right, I'm gonna call it for the day. I was actually trying to cut that angle and I almost cut the wrong side. So it's late, I'm tired, I'm a little bit frustrated, and I know me, like that's when I need to quit. That's when I need to come back at a later point with a fresh head and just leave this for another time, whether it's a weeknight or next week. I gotta be done right now. I'm pretty happy with what I got done today. Well, I don't know any better, right? I only hung 8 sheets of drywall. It was all on the ceiling. I was learning how to use the lift. I had to add some additional strapping in the bathroom and here, so it wasn't all hanging drywall, but yeah, 8 sheets over 7 hours doesn't sound like a whole lot. And any tips you'd have, I would love to hear them because, you know, obviously I'm struggling a little bit. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.